How powerful can the bond of family be? It's a force that drives people to face immense challenges, seek hope in dark times, and share joy in moments of happiness. In Taiwan, a man diagnosed with cancer dedicated the rest of his life to searching for his missing sister. His journey encountered numerous obstacles, but he never gave up. His story of perseverance spread and inspired many. But is his sister still alive? What's the story behind it all? Hello, I'm Joe. Welcome to Chinese Crimes, a channel dedicated to real-life cases in China. On July 5, 1994, major news outlets in Taiwan posted the following message. Xiaofan, come home quickly. Your brother's sick. I need you to come back to take care of Mom and your brother. The brother mentioned in the message was Huang Guoxi, lying weak in bed. Beside him was a sick and lonely mother. Anyone who heard the family's story felt sympathy, and the story spread across Taiwan. Huang Guoxi was a high school sophomore. His father had died in a car accident 7 years earlier, and his sister, Huang Fan, disappeared after going out with friends on the night of the previous Mid-Autumn Festival. He and his mother searched everywhere, even reported to the police. But after a year, there was still no news. Not long after that, Huang Guoxi found out he had terminal liver cancer. His single mother had worked hard to raise her 2 children, and despite previous hardships, they still found moments of joy. But now, in such circumstances, Huang Guoxi worried about who would take care of his mother after he was gone. So he bravely sought help from outside. According to statistics, until May 21, 1994, 1,116 missing students had been recorded in Taiwan, with hundreds more unaccounted for. Like Huang Fan, who disappeared mysteriously and remained unfound. The police had tried to search, but found no clues. Due to a lack of resources, they couldn't sustain the search. The police told Huang's family that she might have run away because the last time she was seen was at a flower shop across from the bus station. The possibility of abduction was low. With no other options, Huang Guoxi sought help from Lian Shengwu, a classmate whose father was a well-known politician. Fortunately, he helped his friend eagerly. Soon after, the message mentioned above appeared in major media outlets in Taiwan and drew attention. The pitiful Huang family received sympathy from many. Their phone was almost overwhelmed with calls. Some offered cancer treatment methods, and some even volunteered to donate their livers. Although grateful for their kindness, Mrs. Huang hoped everyone would focus on news about her missing daughter. Shortly thereafter, the news did bring a new signal, but cruelly, it wasn't news of finding her daughter, but a notification for Mrs. Huang to identify a dead body. The police from the Wenshan District Police Department in Taipei, upon reading this news, recognized the clothing description given by Mrs. Huang upon her missing daughter matched an unnamed dead body found a year earlier. Mrs. Huang immediately went to the police station for identification. When she saw the victim's belongings, she immediately collapsed and cried out loud, because everything was items that she had brought for her daughter. It was September 30th, exactly 1 year from the day Huang Fan went missing. On the previous Mid-Autumn Festival, Huang Fan and some classmates had arranged to go ice skating at the Wannian building in Taimon area. They usually met at around 10:30 at a flower shop on Chunghua Street, near the Taimon area, across from the bus station. But unexpectedly, it started raining, and they didn't have umbrellas. They left her at the flower shop and went to buy an umbrella. 5 minutes later, they returned to the flower shop and couldn't find Huang Fan anywhere. Subsequently, the group couldn't wait for Huang Fan anymore and thought she had something to do, so she left. Therefore, after leaving a note for her at the flower shop, everyone went ice skating. Since then, Huang Fan has not been seen again. On October 24th of the same year, a man named Wang Zitang drove to the cherry blossom forest in Mocha to walk his dog. This is a famous local attraction, with many people coming here for walks and to see flowers. When Wang Zitang entered a dense bamboo forest, his dog suddenly ran into a ravine and barked continuously. He moved forward to check and found something resembling a person lying in the ravine. Terrified, he quickly notified the police. The police arrived and found a dead woman lying face up, badly decomposed and unidentifiable from external injuries. She was wearing mature clothes and had a broken watch on her wrist with no documents found on her. After posting announcements, no one came to claim for a long time. With no other option, the police had to deal with the unidentified dead body by burying it in the cemetery. The remaining items were kept at the police station. Why didn't anyone think of Mrs. Huang's missing daughter then? It was because on that day, she was wearing her mother's clothes, so no one could have thought that this decomposed body was that of a young girl. Moreover, due to the damp and insect-infested mountainous area, the decomposition of the body accelerated, making the body look like it had been dead for 2 or 3 months instead of 2 or 3 weeks. All of this delayed the identification of the body. After identifying the body, the police opened the coffin and conducted a post-mortem examination. Although the body was badly decomposed and there were no clear external injuries, the forensic doctor found that the upper part of Huang Fan's body was severely decomposed, especially the neck area, concluding that this was her initial injury site. After the identification process, the police believed she'd been strangled to death. So, who was the culprit? To know all of this, we need to analyze step by step from the moment she left home to the day she disappeared. Earlier, I mentioned that Huang Fan's last appearance was at her classmate Chu's flower shop. Therefore, the police began investigating from this shop. The flower shop's owner is Chu Jialu. He stated that around half an hour before and after 11 a.m. that day, he was asleep in the flower shop and did not see Huang Fan. The flower shop does not have a surveillance system, so it cannot be determined what happened after Huang Fan arrived at the flower shop. Therefore, the police had to conduct an external investigation. Next to the flower shop is a construction site. The police had asked everyone at the construction site in detail. And at the same time, the entire construction site area, including the basement, was thoroughly searched, but nothing was found. Right in front of the flower shop is a bus station where many people come and go, and the day Huang Fan disappeared was also a holiday, so it was unlikely that she was abducted in such a bustling area. Moreover, Huang Fan had a simple relationship and did not use social media. The police still had to return to the flower shop because that was the last place that she appeared. After investigation, around 11 a.m. on the same day, Huang Fan called a classmate at the flower shop and invited her to go ice skating. This flower shop is located in a prime location on valuable land, with a small shop area about 6 to 7 square meters. With such a small shop, shop owner Chu Jialu had no reason not to see her. Furthermore, Huang Fan was a classmate and close friend of his daughter, so they knew each other. He also appeared unusually calm. The police invited everyone he met or called on the day Huang Fan disappeared to the police station for investigation. Subsequently, the police found Chu Jialu's testimony increasingly suspicious. Let's take a look at his schedule that day. In the early morning, he drove to the hospital to deliver flowers, then went to the flower market to pick up wholesale orders. At around 10:40 a.m., he returned to the flower shop and rested inside until around 11 a.m. Then he went to a flag manufacturing facility on Chungsha Street to deliver goods. At 11:50 a.m., he returned to the flower shop and then went out for lunch. Around 12:10 p.m., he returned to the flower shop and stayed there until late at night. The police, according to his testimony, found the owner of the flag-making shop. This woman said that Chu Jialu did come to her shop for a while, but only for 2 to 3 minutes before leaving. His eldest daughter said that at noon she returned to the shop twice but did not see him. His second daughter, also a classmate of Huang Fan, said she'd called the flower shop, but no one answered. Importantly, his eldest daughter told the police that her father did not return home all night. These testimonies did not match Chu Jialu's testimony. Therefore, he changed his statement and defended that the reason his daughter did not see him in the shop was because he was outside arranging and moving things. Regarding his journey that night, he said it was too long ago to remember clearly. However, he remembered clearly that he went to which flower market, what flowers he bought, and how much he paid, but he said nothing about going out all night. 26 years after the case, a prosecutor who had investigated the case received a letter from an anonymous woman. She said that at that time she was still a student and accidentally got to know Chu Jialu. Sometimes she even went to the flower shop to help him. According to her disclosure, Chu Jialu often went to the bus station and gave roses to female students waiting for the bus to chat. After getting to know them, he would invite them to his shop. Chu Jialu was particularly interested in female students, and some were treated specially, calling him Dad. Sometimes he would also take them out to eat at nearby restaurants. These things were later confirmed by the shops. The anonymous woman said that when she went to help at the flower shop, Chu Jialu hugged her from behind and said he wanted to teach her how to remove thorns from flowers. Fearing, this girl dared not resist. Although she later reported the incident to the school dismissed it as a minor issue. At the time, there was also a student working at the flower shop who had reported to the police that she was almost assaulted by Chu Jialu. At that time, Chu Jialu took her to the mountainous area on the pretext of teaching her how to drive. Initially, there were no signs of suspicion, but then he attacked her. The frightened woman tried to resist and finally escaped to a house on the mountain to seek help from the people. With the help of a tea grower, she escaped from him. In the process, Chu Jialu still pursued relentlessly until the woman saw a police car and intentionally sought out the police to talk to them before escaping. Where this woman said was only a 5-minute drive from where Huang Fan's body was abandoned. The police also found that he often came to this place to collect flowers. The police seemed to be getting closer to the truth, so they temporarily detained him. Meanwhile, the police also went to the scene to search for other witnesses. First, a neighbor saw a green car parked nearby, with a man pressing a girl down. He thought it was a couple in love, so he left. Although he did not see the girl's face, he remembered the man's face, and it looked very similar to Chu Jialu. Although it could not be confirmed later that Chu Jialu's car was the one he saw, the car's model and color matched. In addition, there were other witnesses, some of whom saw a man resembling Chu Jialu burning paper money nearby. Although there were many witnesses, no one saw the process of the attack. At this moment, a taxi driver named Zhang voluntarily came to the police and recounted the entire attack he'd witnessed while driving through that mountainous area. He said he saw a man pressing a girl by the road. Out of curiosity, he observed them and was finally scolded by the man. "What are you looking at?" Taxi driver Zhang said he had been haunted by this incident for a long time because of suspicion, and today, when he knew the girl was dead, he summoned all his courage to recount it. His testimony was crucial in implicating Chu Xiaolu. Furthermore, in the Chu family's car, some very small pieces of broken glass were found, and after examination, they showed the same material as Huang Fan's wristwatch strap. On November 21, 1994, the Criminal Investigation Bureau conducted another interrogation with Chu Xiaolu, who simply responded with either "I don't know" or "I don't remember." He continued to deny any involvement in the case. In dialogue with witnesses, he even lashed out, claiming their testimonies were fabricated. Surely viewers would have formed their own conclusions by this point. But in reality, as Huang Fan's case was nearing conclusion and the prosecutor was preparing to indict, Chu Xiaolu suddenly, through his lawyer, proposed plea bargaining. He expressed willingness to admit to the charge of unintentional manslaughter, but refused to accept the death penalty and refused to disclose the details of the crime. As long as the prosecutor agreed to these terms, he would plead guilty. However, the prosecutor refused and insisted on charging Chu Xiaolu with murder, requesting the death penalty. The prosecutor was confident that the evidence was sufficient, but in reality, when the case went to trial, this evidence was all insufficient to prove guilt. The final outcome surprised many. Although some witnesses had expressed responsibility for their statements, to ensure accuracy, they were subjected to lie detector tests. Surprisingly, all their test results came back negative. In such a situation, the credibility of the witnesses' testimonies became uncertain. Whom should the judge believe? A year had passed, and how much detail could they recall from that time? Even though a man and a woman were seen, could it be certain that they were Chu Xiaolu and Huang Fan? Ultimately, the testimonies of the witnesses did not hold up. Regarding the shard of glass found in Chu Xiaolu's car, initially, in the interim ruling, it was stated as no difference. But in the final report, it stated, "cannot confirm it matches the material of Huang Fan's wristwatch strap." This meant it could not be proven that Huang Fan had ever been in Chu Xiaolu's car. Therefore, it could not be proven that Chu Xiaolu had left the flower shop. Huang Fan died tragically in the Mukao Hill area, and it could not be proven that it was caused by Chu Xiaolu. Many people remained interested and curious about this case, but there was still no final answer. Chu Xiaolu was acquitted, but he was accused of taking part-time students to the mountain area and restricting their freedom. Additionally, he falsified documents. In the end, he was sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in prison. This outcome left the victim's family, the investigating police, and the prosecutor all stunned. Upon leaving the court, Chu Xiaolu even made a victorious gesture in front of the media cameras. This case became one without a culprit. Headlines in the media read, "Huang Fan, who killed you?" And to this day, there is still no definitive answer. Huang Fan's older brother passed away shortly after hearing the verdict, and her mother had to move. She could not seek justice for her daughter and may never know the truth. She could only lament the injustice of fate and the cruelty of reality. A letter sent to the investigating police after 26 years, as mentioned above, brought a glimmer of hope. Many people have not forgotten this case and hope that one day the truth will be revealed. The case reflects a major loophole in Taiwan's legal system. The victim's family and friends continue to endure pain and yearn for justice. They live in dissatisfaction, unable to bring the culprit to light. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share? Leave a comment below. Chinese Crimes will continue to analyze real-life cases in China in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to support us. For now, goodbye and see you again.